Alright, what is going on YouTube? We're back with another episode in the revamped RPG series, and in this episode, we're gonna get him attacking and holding a sword. Cool stuff, so let's get into it. First thing, we're actually going to need to import something, and if you don't already have it, download something from the asset store. I mentioned it last episode that you will need this, but it is called Infinity Blade Weapons. If you go to the marketplace, I said asset store, that's Unity, my bad. If you go to the marketplace and just type in blade, if it wants to start for me, yeah, it does. Last episode, there was an error where it didn't want to type. If you type in blade, the fourth search result should be Infinity Blade Weapons. You're going to want to download that and add that to your current project. You're also going to want to Infinity Blade Effects, and we may use adversaries or warriors later on, but keep those in mind. So as you can see, a lot of weapons are included in this pack, not just swords, but we also have battle axes, and then some goofy weapons that you can do as unlockables or Easter eggs if you really like them. But you cannot use these commercially, as far as I know. I'm not sure. You could look at the terms of service or terms of agreement for CCBY or CCYB, whether you're allowed to use it, whether it's copyright free or royalty free assets. But as far as I know, these are copyrighted models, and I can't sell them, or you can't sell them. Or claim that they're yours, of course, because they are not. But they are done. This is by the Infinity Blade game. But obviously, I'm not selling this. I'm just simply using as placeholders. And plus, they're awesome weapons. I love the way they look, and they aren't super high quality to the point where it's just going to lag us out, but it's not crap quality to the point where it's a childish game. So, of course, we're going to want to add a project. I'm going to scroll down to my YT project, or RPG, and add to your project. Now, I have already added them, so I am currently not going to. As you can see in my Unreal Engine project, let me open that up. Infinity Blade Weapons, they are already here. There are some effects folders. I don't know what that's for, though. But as you can see, I already have all of my swords in here and stuff, the models and the textures, so that's all cool. Anyways, so now we need to get some actual attacking animations for a character, because obviously we don't know if he's attacking if he doesn't look like he's attacking, and so we need to look like he's attacking. So type in sword, and by the way, once again, link for Mixamo in the description, but type in sword and shield. And so we've got a couple attacks that we could do here. We have this slash, and man, there's so much stuff moving on screen. But I'm just gonna grab this slash because it's a very basic one, and we'll do combo attacks later, I think, in the series. I'll see how that works out, but the strange and odd thing is that you can see in this blueprint, he actually moves forward a little bit, and then he sets back his location. There is no actual in place button for this, and so it is kind of sad, but I have a way that I'm going to try to do it. But we'll see how it's done, and I'll have to work on that. But right now, like I said, we're just going to get the basic slash, this one right here. So add it to your, I'm going to add it to my RPG pack just as a backup. Obviously, there's no in place here because he steps right back where he was. I'm going to also add this to my assets, and I really actually only need this one animation, so that's all I'm going to add. So I'm going to go to my assets, I'm going to go to my animations, and I'm actually just going to download the sword and shield slash. So obviously, I own this. I'm going to download as FBX 30 frames per second. Remember, normal FBX, not Unity or Unreal Engine. I'm going to do it without the skin and no keyframe reduction. I'm going to queue that download. We're going to download that. I'm going to that's the 6th or 8th time I've downloaded that. I know it says 7, but oh no. Yeah, nope, it's the 8th time I've downloaded it. Anyways, we're going to let's see, open containing folder, and I'm gonna just drag that over. I'm going to minimize my window on my other monitor. I'm just simply dragging it into my new RPG anims folder here, and I'm just going to rename it so that way that 7 is not there. Exit out of my downloads folder, and we'll leave this up, both of these windows up. But let's go into, not Minecraft, I just opened up Minecraft, that is my bad. Let's see if I can exit that prematurely. There we go. So now we need to import that animation, so I'm going to go to player stuff, animations, excuse me for the stutter, open up our RPG anims folder, and import that slash. Click over. Make sure it is using the RPG. Let's see. Oh, right. It's ybot, isn't it? So I'm just going to type in bot. That'll be the only one. Ybot skeleton, export a time, import all, and we should be good because it's only going to import one thing. I'm going to Control S, and then let's open up our RPG anims so we can get that to attack. So we want it to be able to attack whether we're walking or not. So I'm going to do a little triangle here. I'm going to add a state, and I'm going to call it attack. So we're going to connect this to everything. Make sure you have back and forth conduits for everything. Oh, not that. No. There we go. So idle to attack, attack to idle. Let's see, and then attack to walk, and walk to attack. So that's perfect. That's all we need, and we need to simply just have the same variable for all of these. And so I'm just gonna right click here, promote to variable, call it attacking, and then so if we're going to attack, we need to be attacking, and then we need to, if we're going from attack to something else, we need to not be attacking, let's see, not bool, oh wait, hold on. So nope, I did this wrong. So this one specifically is for attack back to our walk. So we need and bool. Then on the first one, we need let's see. I'm just going to go idle to walk. I'm going to copy this. Speed is more than or equal to 10. I'm going to Control C that. Go back to this. Connect. So we need to be walking and not attacking. Okay, and let me actually go to the attack, import the animation. I'm just going to type in slash, the word slash, not the character slash, by the way, like the that, not that, the word slash. Anyways, Control S there. We have one missing translation, and this one is attack back to idle, and we just need simply not attacking. Compile, save. So let's test it out. So right now we're always idle. So we need to make sure, attacking should by default be false. Good. Okay. So let's say we're attacking. Good. We just keep attacking. This is us holding down the mouse button. And then we stop. Okay, so then we go back to idle. So let's say we're moving forward. And then we attack. It's going to go to the attack. We're going to keep attack even though W is still down. We're not going to be moving forward, of course. We're going to be staying still. I'm going to show how to do that. And then we're going to stop. We're going to stop attacking. And it's going to keep us moving forward. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. And it is seamless. Okay, so now how do we get that to transition over into here? Well, we need to go over to somewhere and get left mouse button. Now we get left mouse button pressed. So, what we need to do here is tell it that when we're pressed, we need to attack. So, first thing is first, I would like to do a real quick begin play up here, because on begin play, I'm going to also make sure it's selected, comment that, and type begin play, so that way I always know where it is. I do the same thing for my tick. So on this, we're going to cast to RPG, can't spell, RPG bro anims. It's RPG dude and RPG bro anims. Wow, okay, it's whatever. I can rename stuff later if I remember to. So we need to cast the RPG anims, not anims class. And then the object needs to be anim instance of the mesh. So I'm just going to drag this down at the bottom, consolidate it all. And then we are going to right-click the as RPG anims, or if you're not too sure on your right-clicking, because Unreal Engine is a little weird, I'll admit that. Drag off of as RPG bro anims, promote to variable, and call it anim instance. So this is our anim instance, or our anim blueprint. This is what we're going to cast to. We're going to reference this a lot, and it's easier than just casting to the RPG anims every time. So right here, I'm just going to comment this as cast to anims. Okay, so we need to drag out our anim instance, get that, and drag out attacking. So we need to not get attacking. We also, actually, first we need to make a variable called attacking on here as well. Compile that, Control S, drag out and set. So on pressed, attacking needs to be true, and we need to get attacking as well off of that. Not get it, set it. Jeez, my bad. Set attacking off of that as well. That needs to be true. Then we need to, on released, I'm just going to select those two, Control W to duplicate it, and connect it to released, and then just deselect the attacking variables. I'm about to sneeze here, excuse me. Nope, never mind. It calmed down, but it's still really burning in my nose. My eyes are watering. Trust me, I'm not crying. So now we have our attacking. So let's play, and I already know immediately what's going to happen. There is going to be a bit of a bug, but we're going to be able to walk around, right? And then we can attack. Press and hold. And we attack. Yay. So, but now, if we click, it starts to attack and not. So say we want a click to immediately attack, right? Say we want that. So how would well, actually, you know what? We're sliding across the floor while we're attacking. I mean, you guys saw that. That's terrible. It's horrible. It's terrible. Nobody likes it, right? Let's fix that by, on attacking, we need to, let's see, our capsule component, no, movement, we should be able to lock, there is a way to lock his movement on an XYZ basis, but maybe I'm doing that in the wrong place. Maybe it's this. lock the transform, because there is an issue that with what I'm about to do, where if we fall, or sorry, if like we're falling and we try to attack, it literally stops us. But I'll check that later. So I'm going to disable movement, and then I'm going to enable movement. Oh no, I already have one. I don't know why I'm trying to drag that out. It's not that. It is, oh, stop movement. Stop active movement. As long as that's pressed down, right? I think that's what I'm looking for. I don't remember. I've only used it once. So if I do this, that's not what I'm looking for. Right. Well, I couldn't find what it did on the other project, but it's fine because, well, I did find what I did on the other project. My other project just still wasn't open. What I did would make him stop, jump, like if he was falling, and you tried to attack, it would stop his falling. I've remedied that, and so now he just won't move forward, or left, right, or back, but you can still jump with him if you want, and if he's jumping, he will still fall properly. It's like if we're jumping off the edge, he'll still do that, and he'll still attack. So we're good there, right? But how did I do it? Well, you may have caught it real quick. This is unimportant. On the tick, I created a tick, so I did tick, event tick. It just takes me to it since I already have it there. And I branched off, but don't do this because we actually need to do something else before we do the branch. I need to, right after the tick, I need to sequence it. There we go. So that way it's doing multiple things at once. Anyways, so what I did is I branched off my first sequence, and then the condition was attacking. So if it's attacking, set max walk speed to 0. If he's not attacking, excuse me, if he's not attacking, set the max walk speed back to 300. But what we want to do is we only want to do once, right? Because the reason why is because if we do it multiple times, even when we're trying to sprint, we're going to have two variables fighting. It's going to be trying to go from sprint to walk and back and forth because of this. So we need to do once. But the reason it will, how we'll do it again if we stop, is this. So let me do something. If I do it once, because we only need to do it once, right? Because like I said, if we keep doing it over and over, the sprint function that we'll add in the future will conflict with that. So if we do this and I do that, now I can't move, right? But if we connect the reset to the end of the max walk speed, it will allow us to do that with the sprint still being in play. Perfect. So it works just fine. So now, even if we're like falling, like if we're sprinting and we're falling at an angle, we still move to where we would move to naturally. It just doesn't allow us to move anymore, just like a normal attack. But now say I just want to attack, and I want it to stop attacking, right? Or I want it to attack, and I want, no, sorry. I want to press the left mouse button, and it attacks without me holding down the left mouse button, which is what I want. So on the released, we're actually going to remove this. Actually, Control Z. No, we want this. We'll just select these two and hit Control X, and then Control V behind this. After the set attacking, and then in between we're going to do a delay. So do utilities, flow control, and delay. This is what you should have. Connect this to the that, yes, and compile it. Now, this is going to have a very specific number in there, very specific. Why? Because at the end of our attacking, we want it to still be yeah, at the end of our attacking, we still want to sorry, we want to attack, then we want to delay, specifically at the end of the attacking, we want to stop. So how we'll get that specific number is we'll go to attack, we'll play it through, we'll open it up, and we'll get how many seconds it is. So current time, it's exactly 1.5 seconds. So if I do 1.5, compile, Control S, and I go and I click. Now if I press and hold, it's not letting me continuously attack. I should be able to press and hold and continuously attack, and I think I know why. Let's try something else. Let's try this. Good. If we do this, that's what we want. Yes. And it's going to wait for an animation to play through all the way. Yep. Good. Good, good, good. Alright, so that's what we want. That's pretty much how I want it to look. So I'm going to select all this, hit C to comment it, and I'm going to do attacking. Now, real quick, we just want to throw a sword in his hand, and we'll be good because we want the sword in there. So first, what we need to do is let's go to our skeleton, and actually, right now we want reference mode, okay? And then we want to find the specific right arm, hand, right hand. So this is the hand that his sword will be in. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to right click on right hand, and I'm going to add a socket, and I'm going to call it sword, if I could spell. Once again, say it every episode. Sword. And I'm just going to move that in a little bit, but now we need to, on that sword, so right click the socket, add preview asset, and I'm just going to type in sword. Now we get all these swords, and really, I just want some random sword. That's not the best example, but it is a sword nonetheless, and it will work just as well. I don't really like that sword, but it's whatever. So obviously it's not in the right place, but let's make sure that it is in line with the animation, that it looks good in the animation, not just in the T-pose. So let's head over to animation and run our idle, actually. And now we get to pause it, go to the first frame, and then we get to fix it. So I'm going to close this up, scroll that down, and now we get to fix it. So scroll down to where your socket is, find your socket right here, and now we get to rotate it and mess around with it so that way it's in its proper place. So we need to rotate it up, over. I'm going to try and get its rotations as good as I possibly can. I don't know why, I just feel like my perspective is like super zoomed in. My camera is very fast though. I'm going to lower the speed of my camera. And then I'm going to move it in. That looks about right. Yeah, that looks pretty darn good. I quite like that. Okay. So I'll give you the exact location and rotation of the socket here on the right hand, and what that is a 2.17x. I'm reading off the location, or you can just look at it. But 2.17x, negative 10.8y. 2.39z. Now here's the rotation. Negative 105.5. And that's the roll, or the x. The y, or the pitch, is negative 29.38, and the yaw is 91.15. Relative scale is 111. So just keep that scale. All right, so that's good. So let's try attacking. Play this animation, and it looks pretty good. Looks just like it should. Okay, now let's Control S. Let's do that. And now what we're going to do is we are going to make a real small blueprint, just the start of our blueprint. So player stuff, and we're just gonna make a folder in here called blueprints, and then in that we'll make one called swords, because we'll have blueprint for shields as well. That'll be a different set of blueprints. So open that up, and then we're just gonna make a new blueprint class, and it will be an actor, and we're gonna call it base sword. Open that up, and we're not going to do too much right now. We're just simply going to add a skeletal mesh that is the sword, and I like the dragon sword. That is a personal favorite of mine, but you can pick whichever one you want. And yeah, that's all we're gonna do right now. We don't need to do too much else to that. But let's on event begin play. I'm going to drag off of this. I'm actually gonna sequence this, and we'll have a weapon picking up mechanic later on in the series. Don't worry, that's there. But we're going to spawn actor from class. And then this is going to be base sword. The spawn transform, we are going to just drag off and make a transform. Do nothing with that. Collision, only spawn, ignore collisions. We're going to return value, promote a variable, and we're going to call it current underscore sword. I'm going to make all these variables public just ahead of time because that's a nice thing to do. Compile that. Control S. It is important that we promote that to a variable. And then off of that, we're going to attach, let's see, attach to component. We need to attach this to a component. So the location rule is snap to target, that, and everything needs to be snap to target. The socket name should just be sword, and the parent, which is the scene component reference, needs to be our mesh and weld simulated bodies. Control S. Now if we play, we should have a sword in our hands. It actually looks a little off, the way he's holding it. Maybe that's me, maybe that's just the animation. I don't know. I set it up the way I kind of like it. He's actually swinging it backwards, so I want to fix that. So I'm going to hold something, because it's hard to tell the front and the back of the sword, because it's a double-edged sword. Even, I mean, I guess you could kind of call that like the front of the sword, whatever. I'm going to get and delete all attached assets, and I'm going to type in dragon and get the dragon sword, because I definitely know which way this sword goes. Okay. So we've got our rotations wrong just a little bit. Let me fix that up. There. Like that. I think that's cool. Now if we play the slash, can we play? I just want to see which way he's slashing it. He's slashing it the right way. Perfect. And it looks like he's holding it well, too. Not losing his grip and everything. Okay, so the new location for the socket. I'm not going to read those off. I'll let you pause the video here and look at them. I hope you can read those. Actually, yeah, I'll read them off. So X for the location, negative 0.33, Y negative 9.31, Z 2.80, roll negative 28 point. Roll is negative 128.74. Pitch is 65.51. Yaw is 42.19, and then the relative scale is 1, 1, and 1 on the X, Y, and Z. Okay, Control S there. Now let's try it. See how it looks. Now he's swiping it the right way. I could fix up the attack animation, like how it delays and all that stuff. I'm sure there's some better stuff, like wait for animation to be done. I don't know if there's a blueprint for that, but alright, we're good. That is perfect. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted it to look like. That's how I wanted to get this accomplished, and we got the base sword set up. So, that's it for this episode. I hope you liked it. And if you did, you could leave a like, because that's what that like button is there for. I just want to thank everyone for their feedback on allowing me to revamp this series, and feedback for all my videos lately. I've been getting a lot of comments and likes and stuff and views, and response around videos has been doing great. So I want to thank all of you for that so much, and I hope that this series stays strong and does much better than the previous series did. But yeah, next episode we're gonna throw a shield on our guy, and that'll be cool, right? So stick around for that, and more RPG tutorials. You can check out some of the other stuff I have. I've got an FPS series. That's a cool thing. I'm also working on voxel generation, which is like making a Minecraft world in Unreal Engine 4. That's a kind of little side project I'm doing. You can follow my little update videos. Follow me on Twitter for stuff all the time. That I'll probably put stuff on Twitter more often, little GIFs or something, or shouting out what I'm doing or what I'm working on. Support me on Patreon, my PayPal, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And thank you a lot again. All right, see ya.